Mark and I are talking about woods, guitar building woods, and right now we're just going into woods you would typically use for the back and maybe sides. I mean, would you usually use the same wood for back and sides?
Usually the back and the sides are the same wood.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost always.
Yeah.
I've seen very few guitars where they're different.
So I have, I'll save this for a whole nother discussion. I have a lute that has alternating ribs of rosewood and maple. You don't do that.
I'm not a lute maker. I know nothing.
Luthiers don't make lutes.
Yeah,
right?
Not anymore.
Not necessarily, unless, yeah.
We've been allowed to steal the term from the lute makers.
Yeah, yeah, even violin builders are probably called luthiers, right?
Yeah,
I mean, any wooden instrument
stringed
builder.
instrument
Yeah.
builder or repairer.
Yeah. Actually, that's a great point because, it's sort of a confusing term. You know, if somebody says I'm a luthier, that's kind of like, you still left the door open. Do you build guitars or do you like to do repairs? Now, I would guess most builders, started off doing repairs because.
Oh, not always.
Oh, really?
A lot did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't always have a repair background.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know.
I guess a lot of them, and maybe you come from building other things.
Yeah, I was a woodworker, a metal worker, and a woodworker before I got into building guitars.
Ah, yeah, yeah. So
so for me, I know a lot of guitar builders struggle with the woodworking part of it.
Right.
They want to build guitars and they learn how a guitar is made, and then they try to do it and they just don't know how to work wood.
Yeah.
And so lots of mistakes get made and things don't come out quite like they would. But that was never a problem for me because I already had the woodworking skills before I started the guitars. So my first guitar looked just about as good as the ones I'm building now.
Yeah, that's really neat. It's we've gotten off on a different subject, but this is actually something that's really interesting because people, a lot of times people ask me. I've been, of course, playing guitars since I was a little kid, and I've never been very handy craft-wise or anything like that, or and stuff. And then people say, "Well, wow, you've been playing guitar this long. Did you ever want to build a guitar?" It's like about as much as I want to build a car or a bridge, or I don't think I have never been fascinated by. I mean, I tried when I was a kid doing a little bit of woodworking, and I just didn't have the patience for it. I didn't have the patience to get this exactly right. I'm a sloppy, craftsman, and so I assume you must have loved the attention to detail to making this thing just right. Yeah. And if you think you're done and you realize it's going to take another 3 hours, you say, oh well, I'm here for another 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I just grew up with this. My dad was a craftsman. My neighbors were craftsmen. From a very young age, I was immersed in that.
Yeah, so you're hanging out in wood shops.
I was hanging out in this shop 45 years ago, actually.
Yeah. Well, so what was your dad building?
What?
What was your dad building?
He was a machinist. He did metal work.
Oh,
he had a little home machine shop in here.
Okay, yeah. So he probably did make auto parts for his neighbors once in a while if they needed something,
indeed.
Right?
Yes, he did.
Hey, I need a bolt that does this. And
he was also just jack of all trades. He did carpentry on the house and concrete work and whatever needed doing.
Yeah.
But his passion was machining and metal work.
Yeah. So that's what you really saw first, was him working with metal.
And I worked metal for a long time before really getting caught by the wood thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my late teens that I started seriously working wood.
So what was the first thing you built out of wood?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
A little soapbox derby for Cub Scouts? Right?
Oh, yeah, I did that, yeah.
Popsicle stick birdhouse?
Yeah, and I used to make, whenever my mom's birthday would come around or something, I would come down here and cut up some piece of wood or something.
Yeah.
Make a birthday gift or whatever.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I have I took wood shop when I was in 7th grade or something, and this was, I already knew this was not my thing, but I thought, hey, it'd be fun to be in wood shop,
Yeah.
And I still have like a little book rack that I put together. It's like in 5 parts, it's just 2 little L-shaped brackets with some dowels between it, and stuff, and it's all broken into parts and stuff, but I just can't bring myself to throw it away, My wife keeps saying, can we live without this? I said, that's my 7th grade art project. So
I think there's still things hanging in the house up here that I made in
junior
high school.
Yeah.
Wood
cool.
shop.